Hi, I'm Nightingale Flo, and today we're going to be exploring one of the most important questions of our time. Could Ash and his companions from the Pokemon anime survive the Purge? For those unfamiliar, the Purge is a horror movie franchise. It is about a fictional dystopian future where, for one day of the year, all crime, including murder, is legal for 12 hours. Ash and his friends had been through quite a lot throughout the course of the Pokemon anime. Illnesses, injuries, world-ending events. So, naturally, the question of how they would handle an event such as the Purge is one that must be explored. Couple quick notes before we start. I will only be covering Ash and his companions from the original series up through Kalos. This does mean that all of his friends from Sun and Moon, as well as Pokemon Journeys, won't be included in this video. Why is that, you ask? Well, it's because I've been marathoning the Pokemon anime for the last few years and finally in the last month got to Sun and Moon. And it wouldn't be fair for me to evaluate their ability to survive the Purge until I've had a chance to examine their characters further. Pokemon characters such as Ash's Pikachu will also not be here, although I am open to covering them at a future date, as well as other characters such as gym leaders or villains. With that said, here are all the ratings that we're working with. They range from dies immediately all the way up to actively participates. And yes, at least one of Ash's companions will get that rating. Alright, that's enough stalling. Let's get started. First up is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Ash Ketchum. Ash was a really weird case to evaluate because whether or not he survives the Purge largely depends on which Ash we're working with. Super early Kanto Ash? Of course he would die because he makes some incredibly dumb decisions. Which is part of the reason he did die. Twice! His plot armor is the only reason he's still standing. Ash in the Unova region, where he makes the worst decisions in the entire anime, such as bringing one single Pokemon to the gym battle with Elisa, he would die immediately, no question. However, Ash in the Kalos region, that's a whole different story. Kalos Ash actually uses his brain. He still makes mistakes, but he learns and grows from them, and he has an incredibly powerful team of Pokemon to back him up, such as Talonflame, Greninja, and Goodra. Taking all the Ashes together and tabulating the average, I think we can safely put Ash in the injured category. He won't come out of the Purge entirely unscathed, but I don't think he'll die either. Next up, one of Ash's first companions and the Cerulean gym leader, Misty. Misty, I think, would fare a lot better in the Purge than her traveling counterpart. Frankly, I think Misty would be an absolute force to contend with. I don't think she would actively go out and participate because she has a lot of pride in being a gym leader. Although she might take the opportunity to get rid of her sisters, who are among the worst characters in the franchise. I do think the Cerulean Gym would be a target during the Purge, because it is a Pokemon gym, but I also think anyone who attempts to come after Misty during the Purge is going to meet the business end of her Gyarados. So yeah, Misty survives. Not a single injury in sight. Ash's other Kanto companion, Brock, is in kind of a similar boat as Misty. Like her, he was a gym leader, although now he's studying to be a Pokemon doctor. Brock also has his family to take care of. He has way too much to lose to be out participating in the Purge. For some people, though, the opportunity to break into a gym or a gym leader's house would be absolutely irresistible. And Brock would absolutely destroy anyone who tried to hurt his family, backed up by his super powerful Pokemon such as Steelix and Crobat. Brock also survives, no injuries. And then there's Brock's replacement in the Orange Islands arc, Tracy. Only true 90s kids will remember Tracy. I wanted to give Tracy the benefit of the doubt here, especially because the Orange Islands arc made up such a huge part of my Saturday mornings as a kid, but I can't. Tracy is so weak, and so are his Pokemon. A Venonat, a Marill, and a very old Scyther are not going to be much help if somebody comes after him during the Purge. His Venonat and Marill would give him a bit of a defensive edge at first, as their sight and hearing would allow him to detect danger that was headed his way, but the moment somebody actually reaches Tracy, it's over. It is unfortunate, but ultimately Tracy dies. Leaving the Kanto characters behind, we move on to Hoenn and to May. May is interesting because she can be pretty sweet and she's a successful Pokemon coordinator, but she's surprisingly vicious. She was ready to cut some throats in the Wallace Cup arc just because some food she wanted was stolen. I have no doubt in my mind, had this been a different show, she would have murdered Team Rocket for not really doing that much to her specifically. And this isn't the first time she's shown to be a terrifying and cruel person. See, also that time she actually had to be reminded to care about her Pokemon when she was terrorizing her Bulbasaur during a showcase. I absolutely think that May not only would survive the Purge, she would be out leading the charge, out for blood over a bowl of 99-cent ramen. May's brother, Max, on the other hand, I don't think would fare nearly as well. Max's biggest flaw in the anime would also be his downfall during the Purge, and that is that he spends way too much time on setup and nowhere near enough time on actually doing something. If he had enough warning, I'm sure he would hole up somewhere and try to put as many barriers as he could between his attackers and himself. But like with the Sandin family in the first Purge movie, all it takes is one flaw, one weak point in his setup, and it would all be over for him. He also has no Pokemon at all to back him up, which obviously doesn't help his survival chances. So while I think Max's preparation would buy him some time, ultimately I don't think he would survive the night. After Max comes Dawn from the Diamond and Pearl anime. Poor Dawn, man. She tried so hard to be good at everything, but ultimately ended up being one of the weakest companions that Ash ever had. She constantly struggles to keep up, and her Pokemon, such as Baneri and Piplup, are not that strong. The only Pokemon she has that might be of some help during the Purge would be her Mamoswine, who is super strong and super loyal to her in the end. But ultimately, I think Dawn dies as well. Hopping over to the Unova region, we get to Iris. Iris is a surprisingly strong character here. She is very comfortable in nature, frequently shown hanging out in trees, which would give her camouflage and survivability. She also has quite a strong collection of Pokemon to back her up, such as Dragonite and Excadrill. There's no way Iris would be out participating herself. I do think she could easily handle anybody who came after her, but I don't even think they would get that far. I think Iris would survive the Purge simply by hiding in the trees, which realistically, if you had the ability to do so, why not? Silent, on the other hand, oh boy. While I do adore Stunfisk, I think anybody who seriously uses one probably doesn't have great survival odds when it comes to the Purge. All of his Pokemon are pretty weak in general, which doesn't give him a great line of defense. He also has a terrible battle record, especially for a gym leader. He lost to Ash, of all people, when Ash was shown to be at his absolute worst. He lost a battle to Skyla, who was so lazy she wasn't even doing gym battles anymore, she was just handing out badges for free. He's never even shown to be particularly strong outside of battle either, his only real skill being a Pokemon connoisseur. Sure, he might be able to tell that Mimikyu and I have a really strong bond, but when it comes to the Purge, he dies. Immediately. Arriving in our final region of the day, we get to Kalos and Serena. Serena has the benefit of going through some serious character growth during her time in the Pokemon anime, and it's this growth that lets me think she has a chance of surviving the Purge. After all, she survived Team Flare's attempt to destroy the world and came out on the other side dancing. Her whole mission is to see the world smile and bring people joy, so obviously she wouldn't be out participating herself. But I don't think she would be able to get through the Purge unscathed. Her breaks in Pancham and Sylveon would protect her from the most serious harm, but Serena would be out in the thick of it, trying to help and protect as many people as possible. Ultimately, I do think Serena would survive, but she would be injured in the process. As for Clement, on the one hand, Clement is a gym leader for a reason. He has decently strong Pokemon, such as his Luxray, he's incredibly smart, and he could turn his gym into a fortress if he really wanted to. But at the same time, all of that could be torn down really quickly. The Lumiose gym has been broken into before with relative ease. His Pokemon were defeated plenty of times throughout the X and Y anime. And his brains won't help him if he runs out of stamina while being chased by a guy with an axe. And let's be honest, Clement doesn't have the greatest stamina, as demonstrated by how many times he asked for a break during their travels. Sort of like with Max, if Clement holed up somewhere and kept out of sight, he might have a chance of surviving. But more realistically, I think he would try to take a stand and protect people, and it would result in him being killed. And finally, Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie. You thought May was the character to be scared of? No. Oh, hell no. Bonnie would be the single most fearsome foe during the Purge. Do you realize this tiny girl, who's not even an official trainer yet, has successfully tamed a Tyrantrum and a Zygarde? She nat 20'd her base charisma stat coming out of the womb. Bonnie would not only survive the Purge, she would fucking own the Purge. Bonnie doesn't even deserve the actively participates category. She deserves her own category because that's how powerful she is. And there you have it. Would Ash and his companions survive the Purge? Well, it depends. Some would, some wouldn't, and that's life. Tell me what you guys think. Are there any characters you would have put in a different category? And are there any other characters you think would have a good chance of surviving the Purge? Please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more unique takes on the Pokemon universe. And follow me on Twitch, where I suffer for your entertainment doing Nuzlockes, shiny hunting, and other fun and gaming stuff. I'm Nightingale Flo. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.